swear it really got me fried. I've been through a lot, I swear it helps me clear my mind. We put some work on the streets, we in overdrive. Saving 30% just to pay the fines. Only hit my phone if you need a 3-5. We making business moves, everyone is justified. My old lady dialed me up like when you coming home. I'm a man in these streets, the streets is my home. We doing 2-for-1s, work until we see the sun. They love the presence of my voice like I'm Big Pun. I switched the Prezi out for the day just. Sometimes I gotta ask God why they hate us. I see the fake smiles on these boys like veneers. I've been counting up, cause it's my golden year. Popping ace of spades to wash away the tears. I ain't seen an L in the last 5 years. Let's take a victory lap, let's take a set to relax. I fell in love with the streets is loving me back. I put my all in this game, and it's paying me back. I need a round of applause.
I was so annoyed that I couldn't hold the watts. Like they were jumping up and down so much, and it just felt so volatile. Like I was pushing hard and I was going easy, and I was just trying to. Then when I was consistent, I was like, right, let's stay consistent for a couple of minutes here, and I don't know, it still felt like it was jumping around the place. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check out this power meter and see how it went. I was doing some research on the power meter to see if it was me or if it was the power meter was the problem. And it seems to be all working okay. So I think what the issue was is like my pedal stroke is just so uneven, and like I'm just not used to pushing the same power through the pedals all the time, and I'm hoping that's it. So it's a case of I'm going to have to kind of train myself to get used to, pushing the same power through the pedals, because even the slightest change of gradient, like that can act as a change of power. Like even if you change gear in a higher cadence, lower cadence, how the difference in power is so drastic, and it's like it's a lot for me, and it's a lot to get used to. So I'll try the next couple of days now. I'm going to try and really focus on just kind of being consistent with the power, being consistent with it. Welcome back. This is episode 7 of Zero to Racer. So this is a series where I'm going from basically zero, never having raced a bike before, to trying to race here in Ireland. I need to get myself set up because tomorrow morning we have an early start. I got a 4-hour endurance session to do in the morning, and then we're heading down to Kerry because I'm watching my first official bike race. So what I need to do next, I need to organise the stuff I'm going to bring with me tomorrow. So when I get up in the morning, I just want to get up, I want to put myself on, I want to eat some food, and I want to go out the gap. If I'm doing 4 hours, I want to make sure I'm fueling right. It's not going to be a high intensity session. It's just all endurance. So if I've got 4 hours, I'm going to try and get maybe 60 to 80 grams of carbs an hour. So multiply that by 4. So I need we'll say about 300 grams of carbs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have 90 in this, 90 in this. That's going to give me 180. So then what I'm going to do as well, I might throw in one gel, so that's 45 grams. I'm using the endurance gels, so minus 45. So then I have 95 left. I'm going to bring a banana. A banana is about 20, 25. Let's say 25 for now. So I still have 70 left. So what I'm actually going to throw in as well are these Nature Valley crunchy dippers, I think they're called. They're actually pretty tasty. These were like the first things I started fueling with on the bike when I was going on the sessions with my club. I used to bring like electrolytes, banana, and like 2 of these, and I thought I was a fueling genius. Well, it worked, except for the last hour and a half when I was completely fucked trying to keep up with everybody. So 2 of these will be 25 grams. So I still have another 45. So what I can do, I might even throw in another gel. So there we have it. That's what we're going to do. That's going to be our fueling for tomorrow. Maybe I'm overdoing it. Maybe I shouldn't be fueling like this, but this is what I enjoy. This is what works well for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So in the bottles, what I am going to have is I'm going to have this endurance drink. So this is the carb mix, and 4 scoops of this is about 90 grams of carbohydrates. Tastes really good, works really, really well for me. I know a few people who it doesn't really sit well with them. This is the same one, but just in orange. It's nearly gone. I like this one a lot. This orange one is really, really nice. Also, this one in blood orange is so tasty. The lemon one, I had it today. It's decent, but to be honest, I rather the orange flavors. And as well, the reason I started using this endurance mix is because it is such great value. Like the fueling, it's like gels and all that stuff. It is pretty expensive. It can get kind of costly. Like when you're putting in your order, and you're like, holy fuck, like it's gone already. Like you can spend 70 or 80 euros there until keep it going for a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks maybe. So that's why I do use it. Tastes really good. I'll definitely be getting more. And in the gels as well, the gels are taste so nice. These are the best tasting gels I've ever had. Good morning. It isn't actually as cold as I had expected. It's actually a nice fresh morning and it's actually much brighter than I had expected. I'm also leaving a little bit later. I was planning to be down to Killarney for about 11:30, but the race actually doesn't start till 12:30, so if I get down there for 12, that should give me some nice time to have a look around. Splendid morning altogether. Hands aren't as cold as I had expected. I was going to wear gloves, but the gloves I have are like these big bulky gloves, and I was like, shit, if I warm up after an hour, I actually won't even have the room in my pockets for those big gloves. So I was like, you know what? Just take the pain of the cold for the first half an hour, and I'm 8 kilometers in now, 20 minutes, and you know what? They're not even that cold. So we're doing well. And I know as well, once the sun comes out, it's going to get nice and warm, so looking forward to that.
Great success.
Yeah, so we've just made it down to Currow here in Kerry. This was the first time I've ever seen any form of bike race in person, and these are the C1s. They were heading off on their first lap. You see here, so there's only 3 lads I know in this group, James, Eoin and Daire. To be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect being here for the first time, but what I noticed is that all 3 categories race pretty much at the same time. So C1s go off first, they go do their like a minute ahead, then the C2s leave, C2s are on their way now, and then once the C2s are a little bit up the road, I think like 30 seconds to a minute, the C3s then head off. And you can see there's a lot of C3s here, so these are the guys that I'll be racing with, so it was actually cool to kind of see these guys in person and yeah, see what I'll be up against when it comes to me racing. And here down in the Jandrum Cup down in Currow, they were doing, I think they had to do like 4 or 5 laps each, so we got to see them coming around each time, which is pretty cool, because I wasn't sure, you know, if we were going to only see them a couple of times and did I have to kind of travel around to, you know, see more of them. But it was actually good now that they did like 4 or 5 laps each. So I think the C3s had like 4 laps, C2s and C1s then. So C1s are the top lads here, they're passing now. They had, I think, 5 laps in total to do around. It was like a 15-kilometer loop, and they were doing it pretty fast. I think the C1s were like averaging like 40 plus kilometers an hour, which is, for me, that's mad speed out here. And some of these lads were flying around these corners at some serious speeds, like, so it's definitely true when people say you have to have good handling to race these bikes. The thing is here, they all slow down in order to go through the corner. So I can't imagine what kind of speeds they're going when it comes to, you know, straight road. And the best thing about being there as well, I got to speak with a few lads who are actually racing and, you know, kind of get their point of view and get their perspective of racing. And there was even a couple of lads who were even approached me saying that they enjoy my videos. So if you're watching this, I appreciate that. You know, I didn't do any vlogging myself when I was there because I was kind of in a new environment and like I still feel like a complete newbie. Like, you might look at me and look at my videos and think, man, he's so good at recording himself, he's so good at making videos. And I was nervous as hell being there, you know, so it was kind of cool having some lads come up and saying, oh, can't wait to see you racing, man, you know, loving the videos. So I really do appreciate all that stuff, and I got a lot of advice and stuff from lads as well, and it's kind of eased my mind a bit when it comes to racing. You know, I've always had this fear that, like, you know, the packs are going to be going so fast and like I won't be able to keep up. And then when it comes to climbs, you know, being a bit heavier, I'm going to be struggling on those climbs to keep up with those lads. A lot of guys were saying that, like, when you're in the bunch, that you actually carry the speed pretty easily, and it's actually not as difficult as it looks, or as I think it is anyways. And being there as well, you know, it just kind of gave me that little bit of more confidence to think, look, I can actually do this. You know, it's going to be tough, it's going to be challenging, of course, but you know what, let's go and give it a shot. If I can't do it, I can't do it. If I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. But I can't say that I didn't do it, you know. So being down there was so fun just to see it happening, like. And there were some top lads racing here as well. But you know as well, I'm really impressed at like how well it's all set up as well. You know, there's almost like the safety car in Formula 1. There's a car going around in front of them. There's stewards everywhere. So like there's always cars being stopped and stuff. Like they are racing on one side of the road, so like the traffic is allowed to pass, but the stewards make sure like when the bikes are coming, there's space for the bikes, they can go through. So there's no worries there when it comes to racing, like having to worry about cars and all that stuff, which is ideal. So to be there in that environment, you know, it's pretty cool, and it was a savage day for it as well, you know. And even being on the side of the road, you kind of get that thrill, you know, because you almost know what the lads are going through on the bike and the kind of buzz and the adrenaline that they're going through. So I actually missed the winners of the C1 race, so I'm actually getting the chasing pack here crossing the line, and Daire actually finished 4th out of the whole crew, which was pretty sweet. You know what? That wasn't so bad for my first ever race. Well, not my first ever race, but watching my first ever race. And you know what? I'm actually coming away from that with a lot of confidence. I'm coming away from it absolutely wrecked. I can't imagine what it's like to actually travel down and race and then travel home again. That must be fairly tiring. Like, so fair play to anybody who does that, who does travel down, races, and then heads back home again. My whole thoughts was like racing was like, you know, super fast, lightning quick, like your foot to the floor for the whole race, and it's like there's no let off. But it's in reality, like if you're actually sitting in the bunch for a bit and like you're actually part of a big group, you're not actually working like to your max all the time at all, unless you're up at the front all the time. And so that's like giving me a bit of belief. It's like, okay, it's not going to be like lightning quick and I don't have to be like, you know, putting huge power down the whole time. It's actually something that's very doable. So that's why I'm coming away from like, okay, you know what, racing's not going to be that bad now, you know. Obviously it's still going to be tough. It's going to be very challenging, you know, but it's something that I can do, you know, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm having some food now. There's some yogurt, some cherries. I like this as a nice snack. And then that's pretty much me done. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.